Victoria Beckham seems to be spoiling her 4 kids, and it creates tension in her apparently perfect marriage with David. Posh Spice is ready to spend 5-figure sums on her children, while her husband wants to teach them frugality. Even worse is that she constantly interferes with her children's careers, and it makes people question their real talents and achievements. Is Vicky's parenting style making her kids ungrateful and arrogant? And how does she and David manage to find common ground in parenting? It's clear that the Beckhams have trouble agreeing when it comes to raising their children. David and Victoria grew up in completely different worlds. David was raised in humble conditions. His father was a kitchen fitter and he worked 14-hour days to feed his family. He taught David to value every penny. So even after becoming a millionaire, David is still very prudent with his money. I still learn from my parents. I still watch them, they still guide me, and I've tried to do the same with my children. The former football player doesn't want to spoil his children with expensive gifts or extravagant entertainment. Instead, he wants to teach them to value simple things.
We have to, because I think, we want the boys brought up in the most normal way as possible, and going to the park and bike riding is something that the boys love doing.
At first glance, Victoria seems to follow his parenting style, but if you look deeper, she often goes against her husband's philosophy. Obviously because she doesn't have any idea how ordinary people live. Posh Spice comes from a noble family, so she was accustomed to luxury from birth. She lived in a huge mansion and was driven to school in a Rolls Royce. So the heiress of a large fortune wants to provide her children with the finer things in life. Against David's wishes, Victoria takes the children to fashion shows and buys them designer clothing. She shared a picture of her daughter wearing a $2,000 dress, and also gave Harper a luxury night robe worth $1,500. Clearly, she's teaching her children to always want the best. Bex seems to be very annoyed by this. He thinks that kids shouldn't wear expensive things until they can pay for them with their own money. So when his eldest son shared a selfie in a luxury brand jumper, David didn't keep silent. He commented, "That's my jumper." David told the press that he often finds his son wearing his fancy clothes, and he isn't amused by it.
If you want something, then go and work and, you got your own money.
As for his younger children, he gives them what they want, but within very modest limits. When his son Cruz wanted to learn to play a musical instrument, David's response was a very relatable one.
He said, "Daddy, I really want to get a mandolin." So he said, "Let me take you." So I took him. I got one for like $14.
When it comes to his children's careers, he maintains a strict approach. Beckham wants his kids to realize how hard they have to work to achieve success. He shared that he's ready to support his children mentally, but he's not going to use his fame or influence to promote them. Moreover, when his eldest son turned 16, David insisted that he had to start earning money. So Brooklyn washed dishes in a local cafe on the weekends. But Victoria seems to want her son to be in a more prestigious field, and unlike her husband, she is ready to use her status to help him. You work so hard for a long time, and you want to do the best that you can for the kids. When Brooklyn made his first steps into photography, his mother pulled a lot of strings to increase her son's profile. The designer also helped Brooklyn secure a deal with international brand Superdry.
He's so passionate about what he does. He's got a great eye. He's very, very focused and passionate, and I'm just really proud.
Victoria promotes her younger son in the fashion industry too. She started to build Romeo's career when he was only 10 years old. Some people questioned this move as he has epilepsy. He's experienced seizures from the paparazzi's camera flashes. But Romeo was able to manage this life-threatening diagnosis and became the face of Burberry. After that, he was filmed for Vogue, and now at the age of 19, he's already an international star. But his mother's constant interference puts a dampener on his success. Romeo gets a lot of hate from people who think he doesn't deserve his accolades. Romeo Beckham modeling for Burberry just for being Dave's son. Isn't there somebody less privileged and more worthy that could have had a chance of a lifetime? But even this doesn't stop Victoria. She's sticking to her posh parenting methods, ignoring David's opinion. She throws lavish parties that embarrass her spouse. Trying to show his kids the value of spending time with family, David prefers intimate birthday or holiday celebrations. But for his fashionable wife, it isn't enough. She always wants to go all out. For Harper's 6th birthday, the Beckhams organized a real princess celebration. the little girl wore a ball gown and had a tea party with her friends at Buckingham Palace. And for Harper's 8th birthday, she wanted to organize a huge 2-day party. The designer planned to put on a glamorous spa day for her daughter and her friends, and then throw a fashionable kids' party complete with a sleepover. But David thought it was too extravagant. He wants their kids to stay grounded and said it was too much for an 8-year-old's party. And when Bex found out that Posh was going to splurge a 5-figure sum on the party, he was shocked. David believes that such excessiveness only makes children complacent and unappreciative. A source said that the two had a serious argument over it. Victoria has always loved the finer things in life. They're just quite different people with different approaches to family life. David insisted on cancelling the party in favour of a family dinner, and it seemed to be for the better. The Beckhams shared cute photos together, and David commented that Harper's smile melts their hearts. Despite their different viewpoints, the Beckhams seem to be a very close family. That's because they're on the same page when it comes to the most important parenting rule. They are both convinced that the main thing their children need is their attention and love.
Time with me or time with Victoria is more important, and I think that's one thing that I always say. Being present with your child, that's the greatest gift that you can give to any child, your attention.
Victoria completely supports her husband in this rule. Just like David, she puts their kids at the top of her priority list, no matter how packed her work schedule is.
David is watching the kids, and we swap. So when I'm at home, he's away, so one of us is always there looking after the kid.
Posh also talked about the strictest family rule in one of her interviews. When the kids and their busy parents are all in London, they have to be home by dinner. The Beckhams think that cooking, eating, and talking a lot together brings them closer. It looks like Victoria and David's different parenting styles haven't spoiled their children at all. In fact, they seem to have created the perfect balance between luxury and frugality at home. And thanks to this, their children can grow into successful people who are still kind and grateful and want to help those less fortunate than them. All of the siblings are involved in charity projects and are open to help others. Obviously, Victoria and David both realized over time, parenting is all about balancing between two extremes.